CoCoTALK is an unscripted live broadcast. Anything can and will happen. The views and opinions expressed by members of the panel and the live audience are their own and not necessarily those of the CoCoTALK show, its sponsors, affiliates, or subsidiaries. Open minds encouraged, sense of humor recommended. If any off-color comments were made, we're sorry.
Hi, this is Dale Lear, designer of TRS 80 Color Baseball, and you're listening to CoCoTALK.
Much to the charging.
This is CoCoTALK, the world's leading live talk show featuring the Tandy Color computer. It's time to drop your socks and grab your real-time clocks, and let's rock.
CoCoTALK is rocking the 8-bit world, keeping the Tandy flame alive. We may be mocked, but we'll never stop, 'cause CoCoTALK is rocking the 8-bit world.
All right, welcome back everybody to another exciting episode of CoCoTALK. We are here with you now on episode 142, and we're going to talk about our favorite computer, the Commodore 64, right?
CoCoTALK is rocking the 8-bit world, keeping the Tandy flame alive. We may be mocked, but we'll never stop, 'cause CoCoTALK is rocking the 8-bit world.
Yes, and Retro Innovation says, yay, C64, finally some reasonable knowledge.
We're going to call this segment load quote 8, 1, star.
6502.
65.3.
We got a great panel and a crappy show in store for you today, folks. So fasten your seatbelts. We're
like
here.
Usual. We are nothing but consistent.
Oh, starting things off with some technical difficulties. So the train already went off the rails before it even left the station today. Our usual broadcast solution, Restream, is having trouble. So I had to quickly hack together the ability to get us on YouTube with some live chat in here going.
Only been 142 episodes.
That's
so
it.
So we're
That's
earning up the wrinkles.
Ben Drakes is here. We got Heavy Breathing here. On the panel, we have Ron Delvaux. Hello, Ron.
It's Ben's birthday today, too, by the way.
Ben Drakes' birthday. Happy birthday, Ben. We got Mark D. Overholzer in the house. Welcome, Mark. We've got standing in for Barry White, the very deep voice L. Curtis Boyle today. Hey, Curtis.
Sexual chocolate, yeah.
Get
Hello,
that subwoofer going.
I'll say in a world.
In a
I
world.
prefer husky. But
Yes. We've got the man whose name we typically say 3 times, Nick Marotta. Hey, Nick.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
We have
And
sorry about that, Nick. I stepped on you. Go ahead.
Let's get to good afternoon, gentlemen, and others.
And others. That's right. For those who are maybe a little bit less than gentle. Mark Bosley's in the house. Hey, Mark.
Hello. Had to switch to a backup computer the last second.
Brian Weaves is with us. Hey, Brian.
Hello. Fighting a cold as Curtis is too, so I'm drinking some hot cocoa.
From your I'm a Coconut mug. Looking good.
Brian, it looks like a Radio Shack store behind you.
Speaking of Brian, we got another Brian here. Brian, the Music Man Shoebring from Glenside Color Computer Clubs with us. Hey, Brian.
Hello.
Hello.
Brian, you look, this is another Brian. You look like you're at a Cocoa Fest.
Yes.
kind of
Of
does.
course, it's what I usually set up at the show. This was, I think, about 4 years ago.
Excellent. James Jones is mentioning gingivitis. Does that have anything to do with people's voices? I'm not sure. Isn't gingivitis like bad breath or gum disease or something?
It's gum disease, yeah.
Gum disease. There we go. We've got Rob Inman in the house. Hey, Rob.
Good morning, everybody. Are we all excited for today's show?
Oh, we are so excited. We're saving
Doing his
David,
best impersonation of David Ladd.
We're saving David for last.
It's really
Oh, sorry.
well done.
I thought it was David Ladd.
That's great. We've got the personal mentor and spiritual guide to Ed Snyder's hardware skills. John Lowry's with us. Hey, John Lowry, Mr. Sauter.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. We've got one of our favorite Australians. He's in the top 3 of our favorite Australians on this show. Nicholas Marentes is with us. Hey, Nick.
G'day, everyone. G'day from the land down under. I'm on fire today. Uh-oh.
Wow.
You made the top 3.
Kurt,
Too soon.
That's it. Too soon. Nothing
You may
like
make
that.
the show good.
We've got Mr. Root Beer Float himself, Grant Leedy. Hey, Grant.
Hey, how's it going? Hey, it's freezing here in Kansas City today.
You amateur.
Sorry to hear that.
Was it 40?
We have
it's 17.
17. Wow.
It's 8 here right now, and snowing.
Insane. Dave and Sharon Very say hello, everyone. Hey, Dave and Sharon, how are you guys? We've got the brother of Ken Reichard, the maker of many products with switches and cables. Jason, the Coco Man Reichard. Welcome, Jason.
Hey, CoCoTALK batteries not included, and if we're going to make weather talk, it is currently 70 degrees here near
Oh,
Pittsburgh.
shut up.
Yeah, it's something like that here. And last but not least, Mr. Enthusiasm himself, Lord of the Floppy, the greaser of weasels, the man himself, Mr. David Ladd.
Let me turn my volume down real quick. Okay, go.
Everyone, I hope you're ready for today's show. We've got all kinds of stuff going on, and I've been using the grease weasels like crazy.
Wow.
There goes our audience.
There goes creepy David Ladd, everybody.
And we have a late add-on,
What
too,
have you
Mr.
been
Rick
using
Adams.
it for?
Late entry to the show, legendary game designer Rick Adams. Thank you. You're too kind.
Thank you. You're too kind. Did you get the soundboard working again?
we have it live. Just press
Just
the Rick
tape or
button.
Memorex.
Thank you. You're not kind enough.
Not kind enough. All right. Well, we are here with the show. We don't have a main topic today. We also started off with some technical difficulties, but we're here. Show must go on. Al Hartman says, if I use a grease weasel, do I have to wash my hands after? That really depends. It's more of a personal preference than anything else. What do you do, David? Do you wash after greasing the weasel?
Usually, I don't have to grease the weasel because the circuit board is always clean. Now, on the other hand, you may have to lube the floppy drive occasionally to maintain optimal sliding potential.
Okay, this is
Looks like Rick's having a hard time finding the off button.
Yeah.
Going downhill fast. All right. All right. So we are we're going to have probably a lot of hot air from the panel today. We don't have a main topic. We do have a little bit of news, but we just found out right before we went live that Curtis is got a throat thing going on right now because of his sickness. So maybe we'll shorten the news. We'll have some host topic discussions. Also want to tell you guys that we do have a special interview planned today for 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the Amigos Retro Gaming Group. And so we're going to be talking to them. We've got exactly 1 hour to talk to them from 6 to 7 p.m. before they start their live club meeting. But we're going to have a group interview. Curtis set this up. Thanks for doing that, Curtis. And so if you guys have watched their Coco gaming videos, you can talk to them about what you liked, what you saw. If you haven't seen it, if you want us to ask them questions, we're definitely going to be talking to them and asking them all about their retro world that they've been living in with all their different, they cater to a lot of different systems. They've got multiple shows. So it'll be interesting to learn more about these guys, and they're definitely bringing new life to the Coco community, which we are a big fan of. So make sure you guys come back after CoCoTALK and check that out. Anybody who just joined us, I think right before we went live, nobody said they had a major product or project update or acquisition, but I don't know if you were here before, Brian. Brian, do you have any show and tell that you have? Anything you picked up this week? Any new
I have
books?
a number of items I could share if you want. I haven't had a chance to share. I've been kind of busy, so I haven't been on the show as much over the past month and a half. So yeah, I got items that we could share and discuss.
Right. Well, you have the floor then, sir.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess first off, a recent acquisition that I made here was the about a year and a half's worth of the TRS-80 microcomputer news magazine.
Okay.
So I got the whole issue there, and about halfway through, it looks like about 82 or so is when they start introducing. You start seeing the Coco in there. Other than that's mostly just the old TRS-80.
This was a Radio Shack publication, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Yep. So I got the what do we got here? Oh yeah, about a year and a half worth of button issues there. I picked that up off of our friend, Mr. eBay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that was always a good one there. And then also here, been playing quite a bit of this lately. Finally picked this up here. So yeah. So that was it's been a lot of fun with that one.
Shameless plug.
And what level are you at, Brian?
I'm into level 2. So, but
how much you get paid for that shilling?
I'm sorry, I'm under contract. I cannot disclose.
Is that the original level 2 or the new level 2?
I guess I would say the original.
Yeah, the original level 2 is really hard. Nick has a patch where it switches levels 2 and 3. So.
Oh, okay. I'll have to take a look at that.
And you're using the koala pad too, so that's pretty good.
You have to with an Australian game.
Also, a book that I've been wanting to get my hands on for a while is Inside the Dragon.
Ooh.
So our cousin there, the Tano Dragon and the Dragon 32. So it's a kind of a autobiography type book that talks about the dragon and its origins and everything. So it's been kind of an interesting book. Another product, we kind of talked a little bit about this, I think, last week, but I've really been enjoying this, and that's adding this to my Coco SDC.
Nice.
The Flash Air. And I tell you what, that has really been, if you do a lot of copying back and forth, good. That's definitely the way to do it.
It is.
So,
thank Jim Brain for that tip.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That's been a lot of fun playing with that one. Some older game cartridges here. I've been trying to work on getting a complete collection of all the ROM cartridges that Radio Shack put out. TRS-80 logo.
Wow. Color logo.
It's in there we go. And it's in the
blister pack.
It's in the blister pack there. It's got a little crackly there, but it's not too bad. Bridge Tutor.
Oh wow!
Some of the card games that Radio Shack put out there.
Bridge Tutor.
I could use that. I've been learning bridge for the last 3 years.
There you go. Another one here. I don't have the blister pack for this one though, but I do have the ROM and the thing there.
And the book, nice color
cube.
cubes.
Yes, so that one's been kind of fun, a kind of a Rubik's cube of sorts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then if you're into spreadsheets,
who isn't?
Spectaculator.
Best game ever.
Yes.
Best game ever.
E1.
That's the easiest game to get high score on because all you got to do is just keep adding and adding.
Enter the high score. A couple more ROM cartridges and I'll wrap it up here. One that I don't know. It seems like it gets a kind of a 50-50. Either people like it or they hate it. But
Poltergeist. No, that's good. I like it.
Yeah, it's good.
I liked it.
So
yeah,
got that one.
Third level's hard, but it's not impossible.
Okay, I have not had a chance to even start playing on that one. I do have a ROM cartridge, but not one in a box with a manual. But this is just your good old diagnostics there.
Good old diagnostics.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yep. So kind of a handy little one there. Another card game in a box there I got is Gin Champion.
Oh wow.
So that was another card game that they had.
Did you know the sequel to that one? It's a Gin and Tonic Champion.
Gin and Tonic. Either that or you feel like you're getting better as you drink that one. So,
alcohol not included.
Yeah.
And then music.
Ironic.
One there. Yes, got that one. I always obliterate the name on this one here, so help me out there. But I always can't have a hard time mispronouncing.
Gomoku Renju.
Gomoku
Renju.
Yeah. So
that's Chinese checkers. Is that kind of like Othello?
Othello, yeah.
Othello?
Similar, not quite the same.
Not quite the same? Okay.
I never have quite figured out how to play that one.
Okay.
Isn't it based on Go or something? I can't remember now.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it was like Go. Yep.
Otherwise known as if you don't get the corners, you lose.
Okay.
Also,
too, another hot game. No, but just personal finance there. So yes,
that's so you can afford more games, so it's critical.
And of course,
Honey,
it's
can you help me with this budget, please?
Shut up! Get out! Go to your mom's.
He's a real pleaser.
Oh.
And then if you're not quite up to snuff, you can do some
Typing tutor
there.
That I actually did use. Actually, I learned how to do home row and stuff from that.
And
This
then
is math tutor.
the last 3 there. So if you're done with your math, you can also do your fraction fever.
Wow.
Yes. So that
Ooh,
was
Spinnaker software. Notorious company.
Now, did you have a blast?
That was cross-platform.
Did you have a blast with the new math tutor?
No, not yet. I have not the opportunity there. I will share my my results.
Fever is fun.
And then this the video text cartridge.
Oh wow.
Got that one there. And then the last one of all, Robot Battle.
That's a rather famous one.
That's the one where you program them, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So do you have any idea how far along you are in your acquisition of the collection?
I'd have to count them all up there. I saw that that Paul had posted on Facebook here, was it maybe a week or so ago? He kind of posted an inquiry to see if there was anybody that had like a complete list. And there was some stuff out on the archive, and somebody else had some other links, I think to like a Wikipedia of a couple spreadsheets. And it seemed like the way Paul's comments were going on Facebook, that there wasn't any one list that was ever totally complete. I was going to message him and see if he kind of combined all those to try to create a complete list. But I thought somebody had commented that there was about 92 or 95 cartridges.
Are you strictly going for Radio Shack cartridges, or are you also including like third party?
Radio Shack right now at this point. So, yep.
Because the Dragon had some that we never had on cartridge. And there was a few third party ones like Star Blaster from Microworks that were on cartridge.
Okay. Yeah, right now it's just strictly the Tandy Radio Shack cartridges that I'm trying to complete. And last tally, I think I'm around 86 or 87. So I think I'm
must be pretty
narrowing
close.
in. So, yep.
Do you have doubles?
Doubles?
On some? Because you'll get a load of stuff in and it'll include a couple, and sometimes you already have them, you know.
Yep. Oh yeah. Do I have doubles? Yes. Yep. I do have some duplicates, and some of those I've been filtering out, and I may just use those as play ones, or I might even just maybe sell them out on eBay so other people can have them as well. So.
Right. So depending on how far down the rabbit hole of collecting you get, so your phase 1 is to see if you can get a near complete collection of every cartridge, but then you may or may not want to be interested in looking into the variants, because there were sometimes reissues of certain cartridges. Some games were originally released under the Tandy line, and I mean under TRS-80 line, and then re-released as Tandy. And even the boxes, the silver boxes, there are some games like Color Baseball and Dungeons of Daggerath. I've seen those labeled and boxed in both a TRS-80 box and a Tandy box. And then
I think there was a couple of versions that wasn't there of the Clowns and Balloons, and I thought even on that post that Paul Shoemaker did, somebody said there was like 3 different versions of Personal Finance or something, and they happened to they shared a picture of 3 different labels.
And
for
some
that,
of them had
so.
patches to run on the Coco 3 too, like Download 1.1, which has a different label on it. It has the Tandy versus the Radio Shack.
Yeah, that one went
patched
from
the
a
code 'cause it
box
didn't
to
run
a
on
blister
Coco
pack,
3.
I think.
And there was some that were TDP.
Yeah, right.
Yep, the TDP ones. Yep.
And then Jason Riker got some that were like dot matrix printed on generic labels.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those out there before.
Yeah.
I've got 2 copies of
print on demand.
I've got a shooting gallery that's like that.
I've got 2 copies of Scriptset because you need to,
Yeah.
and one of them has a red label, and one of them has a white. So I don't know what the deal is with
The
that.
white is Tandy. So when you can see the difference. The Tandy.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a Radio Shack.
The Radio Shack ones were kind of color coded a little bit, and you had like blue, yellow, and stuff. The Tandy ones were just
Tandy.
lazy, and they were just white.
Okay.
Yeah.
And those dot matrix
Thank you.
ones, if I remember correctly, if you started ordering the third party catalog that Radio Shack sold stuff, if you knew to ask for it in the stores after the Coco was discontinued, you could still for a couple years order old stock that they had back at the warehouse. I think some of those were done with the line printer labels.
Interesting.
That video text cartridge, does that basically make the Coco 1 and 2 like the old video text terminal?
Yeah, it's a terminal program.
But
300 baud terminal program.
So basically just makes it like their original video text Coco.
Yeah, except it didn't have many features. Like it didn't have buffer capture or anything else. There's no download protocols. So people actually did hacks where they have to hit reset to, save the buffer out from basic afterwards.
The video text terminal is basically the instead of the basic ROMs, it had that same video text software.
Right.
I'm not sure if it's if I'm locking up or not. I just pop the cartridge in and change my video input.
Oh, look at that. Video text 1.1.
But it's not
hooked up to a modem or something. You won't be able to see.
That's an incredible splash screen there. I wonder how much time and energy went into designing that. So.
It has the OS 9 Pro.
That was running 4K, so they didn't have a lot of room.
It's a very specific green, though.
Yeah, that's a custom shade of green. That's cool. Very, very cool. I don't know if anybody else did. I know most of us said we didn't really have an update, so we've been trying to push updates to the end of the show when we've got a bigger show. What do you got there, Ron Delvo?
I have a cartridge that fits in a shoe. It's a Get Smart cartridge. Hello?
Yeah, there's.
I had a get together with Paul Barton Industries, Barton Laboratories.
Oh yeah.
And
he's
if you
the
go
CEO,
on,
right?
Yeah, if you go on my Ron's Garage, you'll see pictures. He helped me with the other computer over here, the one on the left side. This one. No,
okay.
This one. Anyway, he put in the Triad and made it instead of 512, 1 megabyte. With a little bit of reworking. Anyways, you'll see it on the.
Yeah, that's the thing that Richard Lobieski said, because there's 1 meg chips on there, so you can just.
Yeah, he put Richard's DAT on there. Hooked it up.
Yeah, that's kind of neat. You get a little bit, get a little bit of extra RAM out of that 512K upgrade.
Yep.
So.
One other item I guess I did recently do is. Over here to my right in my Coco 1, it's a 64K.
Mm-hmm.
It has an E board in it, and I added the Coco VGA.
Nice.
Into that. They don't make a whole lot of the E boards, and so what you end up having to use is the VGA for the F version of the board, which has that pin right in the middle that comes
post,
up.
A little plastic
and
post.
So what you have to do is you end up having to lop that off unless you want to keep it original, then you're kind of SOL. But I was okay with it, and so you had to cut the top of that post off, and then he sends with
SOL. Is that Steve out of luck?
And then he sends along with it. If you tell him that you're doing an e-board, he sends you about 3 extra 40-pin sockets, and so you end up having to stack them up in order to get enough height. So it can clear that post, unless you want to lop it off almost flush. But I didn't want to. But yeah, he'll send it, and yeah, it works great. You get the nice video out of it and everything. So
are you saying you did not cut your?
No, I did.
Oh.
Yeah, but instead of cutting the post completely off, if you look at the post, it kind of goes up and then it kind of tapers a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And right where it tapers is where I cut it off. And I guess my thinking with that is that if I ever wanted to put it back together, I save the post, and by cutting it off where the taper is, that'd give me a spot where I could maybe like re-epoxy it back on or something like that. Or so, don't know if I need to or not. That boy there's been through a lot. It's missing a foot on the bottom. It's missing all the stickers. It's just a nice little fun one to play around with versus.
It looks real pretty from here.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's beat up on the bottom quite a bit and stuff. But so I'm just using it kind of as a workhorse to play with. So. Yeah.
What the hell's going on with John Strong? You sound like you're going through an helium injector or something.
Alvin!
Christmas time is here.
Reminds me of the Star Trek episode where everybody sped up. Some buzzing inside.
Binars.
Well, since he's doing that, I do have the shooting gallery cartridge with the white label on it. I did find it.
There you go.
Hard to see, but there it is. Just dot matrix printing. It's very
spared, no expense.
Yeah, no expense was spared. I think we found. I actually found two cartridges like this after the second Tandy assembly at a video game store, and The other one was Megabug, and I already had Megabug, so I left it, but I didn't have Shooting Gallery, so I bought that one.
Cool.
I have too many megabugs.
You know what? I had an extra one. I gave it to my brother.
What a guy.
Okay. Well, before we lose Curtis's voice, and Curtis, we were just gonna we kind of were told we didn't have a lot of news to cover this week, but also trying to save Curtis's voice, we're gonna probably cover even less. But Curtis, you did mention that you had one or two topics that might make good host discussions for today's show. Did you want to? We'll get to the news, and then we can come back if anybody else has some updates. We'll get into more updates after the news, or.
Yeah, it was just two stories that I thought might be worth actually having some discussion on. So.
Okay, well, let's.
And the rest we'll leave till next week.
Okay, so hold on one second here. It's time for news with L. Curtis Boyle, the man with the deepest voice in the Coco community.
And now a Muppet News Flash.
All right, L. Curtis Boyle.
Okay, I can't share yet, so I'll wait.
Oh, okay. And now
Did you say toppings, Stevie?
I don't know what I said.
Pizza toppings, ice cream sundae toppings. That'd be great. Yeah, get some sprinkles, donut toppings.
Yeah, you guys can see that.
We can see it.
Oh, I want one of those.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is Paul T. Schreiber, who used to work at Radio Shack, and he was going through. I think somebody had passed away that used to work at Tandy. And this guy has just, buckets and buckets of stuff from Tandy and Radio Shack from the early days, including a whole bunch of these stickers for the deluxe 64K color computer that never got released.
Wow.
Now we know from Boise and Bill's book that they'd actually made like 50,000 motherboards, and then they canceled the project right at the last minute.
Wow.
I know drivers were done for OS9. I've actually got source code for some of that stuff. And so I kind of jokingly asked, well, what do you have the rest of the parts? Because I wouldn't have a deluxe Coco, but...
Wasn't he the keynote speaker at Tandy Assembly this year? Am I getting him confused with someone else?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I wasn't at Tandy
Same
Assembly,
guy.
but yeah, did he go into the deluxe at all, or what was his speech on?
I don't remember, but it's out there. It's on YouTube somewhere. I'll have to put it in the show notes.
So refresh our memory on what the deluxe had. It was 64K.
64K, a real serial port. They were going to take the sound chip from the speech sound cartridge.
The Coco 3 style keyboard, though, with a different colored background.
Right.
Which they actually later sold.
True lowercase.
Yeah, true lowercase VDG. Also, that phase shifts, you can get white on blue text too.
Okay. Yeah, they mentioned it in the Coco Underdog book. Those were some of the highlights that I had to add. Did it have palette registers at all, or just?
No, it just had that phase shift where you could shift the colors.
Okay.
So you got some extra colors you couldn't get on the normal Coco.
But this is a pretty big badge. This is kind of like the TDP 100 size badge. So maybe it was going to be in a similar style case. It would have still been in a Coco 1 case, but it was going to be called the deluxe color computer, right? So. Yeah,
and it had like a DB25 or something. Serial ports. And
do we have a picture of the computer with that particular nameplate on it?
No, because they weren't
unless it's in the book. I
don't think it was even in the book.
The one they show, the Coco 4 or supposedly,
yeah, they do show
has
the
that
prototype.
big box on it with a drive in it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but that's not this.
No. This one they talked about, but I don't think any pictures were ever made because it never got produced.
Yeah, Boise's book has a picture of the motherboard with the keyboard, but it's the tops off, so I can't tell.
So there's not one in existence? It would be a Model 1. Would it be gray?
And I think it was white, because that was when the 64K Coco would come out as white.
Oh, okay.
It had composite out, video and audio out, too.
Oh, okay. Real composite.
And 2-button joystick support, I think, too.
So if someone takes a white Coco 1 and puts that sticker, like on the TDP 100, is in the middle center, do you think where it went?
I would have to guess yes, but I've never seen.
Yeah, just judging on the size of that badge, it's looking like it would have to go somewhere like where the TDP one was, kind of in the center of the unit. It's a good looking badge, though.
Yeah, and one of those, what could have been.
What could
have
been?
Are those metal, or do they have the bubble of stuff over it?
Click on it, see if you can make it a little bit bigger there, Curtis. That's all we got is that one picture that Paul posted on Facebook, but looks like they could be bubble badges.
Yeah, we got
Radio
fast forward.
Shack TRS-80 Deluxe 64K color computer. Wow, deluxe.
Yeah, it had an expanded basic too. There was a RAM drive built into it and a few other things too. So
Yeah, and one of the versions of the extended basic manual, I think the one that's on the archive, has some little sidebar thing saying, well, if you have a deluxe color computer, you can also do this, this, and this. So they were mentioning things like different keys, like the function keys or alt keys that you could press on that computer that obviously didn't show up again till the Coco 3.
That was when they did all the manuals and they had those little side things. If you have a deluxe color computer, you can do this type thing.
Yeah. So, yeah, the thing that could have almost been, right? So,
I mean, just having the sound speech pack built into it,
right,
as a base hardware would have been so nice.
Yeah, onboard sound chip. Who'd have thunk it?
So does Steve Bjork have knowledge of this machine? And is this the one he talks about?
Yes.
This is the one that the MC-10 killed.
Allegedly. Yes.
Allegedly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And no one's got a deluxe motherboard if 50,000 were made?
The couple of people that they wrote that when they visited to write the book, they had a few of them. So there's a few out there. Like he's got pictures of one in the book. So there is a couple out there. But as far as I know, they were destroyed.
Yeah. I mean, at this point now, Ed Snyder could make a deluxe, and he kind of is working on making a deluxe Coco. So it's not far from us having something like that, future.
Well, the Coco 3 was essentially Tandy's redo of the deluxe.
There was missing features, right? There was no sound.
Well, it's missing sound, but did have 80-column text and.
Yeah, they expanded the graphics drastically in the Coco 3.
Yeah, the gimme.
This was just standard Coco 1 and 2 graphics with that phase shift added.
Oh, okay.
So it had sound, and you had a real RS-232 port, that could run a lot faster, not bog the CPU down. But graphics-wise, you were exactly the same as the Coco 1 and 2, except that phase shift added a couple colors.
Did you read John Lorry's comment? He says they're buried in a desert somewhere.
Yeah, right beneath ET cartridges.
Slap of ET cartridges.
Cool.
I just think it's really cool that some of that history which we've all read about and heard about for years is actually there's still pieces of it around that people didn't know it existed yet.
Some relics of it, yeah.
So
I'm hoping
I haven't read Boise's book yet. Does he talk about the deluxe Coco in his book?
There's pictures of it.
Okay. Okay.
But not
I
of
want
the
to get a copy.
outside.
Yeah, just the motherboard and the keyboard.
Cool.
And the keyboard, Tandy did sell those because they had manufactured like 50,000 of those too, but they sold it as an upgrade keyboard at Radio Shack for $40 or something, I think it was. So you can get a little baggie with the keyboard with the F1, F2, Alt, and Control. But the background color was different. I think it was black instead of gray.
Right.
Black.
Coco 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those you will see around because people did buy them.
John Strong, you're still coming through like a chipmunk.
You might have to unplug your USB mic and plug it back in again. There's a bug on some of the Logitech based ones.
Can we keep him this way?
It does make for good comedy.
If you just talk slow.
All right, that's cool, Curtis. What else have we got in the news?
Okay, the one other one that I thought would be worth a discussion here is Chet's been doing a survey of what type of hardware upgrades either people already have or planning to get by the next fest in April. And he's using this as a basis, I believe, for what his next game might require for hardware.
Yes, but is he going to unpatch his games that break on greater than 512? He said he purposely did that.
Who put
Digger 3 is
Highway
fixed.
down there?
It doesn't run
Yeah, I
to
know.
make.
Oh, I know.
Okay. Which of the following game-related products do you already own or expect to purchase at the 2020? So obviously, the 6309 is top of the list. The people have it or plan on having it. Next comes 2 megs, and then comes Gimme X. Input.
Which is the first product that's not released yet on
Yeah.
that list.
So input controller or adapter, that's kind of a vague generic thing, but obviously meaning some type of custom controller, right?
I assume it's the Paragons and things like that.
Sound chip upgrade, Coco VGA, Coco SDC, right? So it's surprising to see that Coco SDC is on the bottom of the list, probably just because everybody's got it. Yeah.
And Nightmare Highway.
And Nightmare
Well, he wants to
Highway.
know what people have, but when I did a survey, Coco SDC wasn't there.
Yeah, but they that
He
those
added that
last
later.
two
Yeah.
were late. Yeah, so they didn't get all the votes.
Ah, okay.
One
So,
thing that
yeah.
surprised me a bit though is that new games on cartridge was as low as it is. It looks like that's not a selling point if this survey is to be believed.
Yeah.
I like cartridges.
Is
for,
that
like,
cost
nostalgia.
related? Do you think, or is it? I don't know. I mean,
Inconvenience.
memory limitations. You're not limited to 32K or anything like that anymore. You bank like crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's unfortunate, but I just don't think I'm probably in the minority. I like the idea, but I don't think there's a mass appeal for it or huge interest in it.
It's added cost.
Yeah, honestly though, I don't think cost is as important as what's on it. You know, it's one of those things. If you build it, they will come.
I'm sure you're gonna have to.
Yeah, John Strong having some major technical difficulties there. So something like Cersei's Island, which, by the way, oh, for the love of God and all that is holy, what is going on with this
Can we mute
freaking
John,
sound right now?
please?
Testes 1 2. All right. Which, by the way, I forgot to mention last week when we did our celebration of the community. A name that slipped through was Steve Bamford, aka Bosco, and his Cersei's Island project, which is kind of like a Mario style game that is going to be released on the cartridge. That is a really cool looking game. It looks like something that would run on a Nintendo NES type thing, and it sounds like something that would play on an NES with the chiptunes music. So that game, as far as I can tell, it's only going to be available on cartridge because it requires the GMC, and I have a feeling that will sell. I think that can easily sell 100 copies. Easily.
That one I'll get.
You know? So I think if there is a killer app out there, it will sell. So I don't think...
maybe if you have the extra hardware added on, like sound or something else that boosts the game above what it normally could do.
Yeah. So that
might be the secret.
That might be one to help reinvigorate the whole cartridge movement.
Is there any ETA on that?
I don't know. The problem is that if you check in Discord, you can reach out to him, but I didn't check those other Discord channels when I was trying to compile my information. You know, because it's down there in the game section.
Okay.
So Steve did seem like he had moved off of it for a while, and then I think when we were showing it at VCF West, it reinvigorated his interest. So I've seen a lot more activity over the
I also
past
know he's had real life get in the way somewhat too, which happens to all of us.
Yep.
Or did he hit a plateau?
No. Try disconnecting from Zoom and getting back on.
Reboot your computer,
Reboot your
John.
computer. Tech shooting, troubleshooting 101.
Have you turned it off and on again?
Yes. Have you tried switching on and off again?
I believe.
So yeah, look at the list. Look at what people say they either have or want to have, right? So 6309, number one on the list. 2 megs, right? Gimme X, sound chip, Coco VGA. So all these upgrades are the 17. So about 20 people said they either have or will want to get a Coco VGA. We've already heard numbers that Brendan has sold 100 units. So these 20 people is probably a cross section of some who have it and some who want it.
Want you to notice, Curtis and Nick Marentes, that even though I complain about it all the time, I did put myself as wanting a 6309.
Yeah. So
so once I have it, it'll be the best thing ever, and I'm going to say we should have it.
Yeah.
Till then,
the only unfortunate part about the 6309 is that because it does require the desoldering, that's not a skill that everybody has.
Yep.
So
But that's only on the Coco 3 and the later Coco 2s. We have patched some games now for the 609 on the Coco 1 and 2, and they have some pretty huge speed increases.
That's complete. Yeah. Yeah. The chip itself is dirt cheap, right? Like $2, $3 for the cheap.
$5. Yeah.
there's a source for them in Canada too. I don't know if you want to mention that, but there's a source for a cheap source for 6309s in Canada, possibly. If you're on the Coco mailing list, there's details there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think somebody else, the question comes up from time to time when people are new to the Facebook group is, what are your thoughts on memory? What do you need? What do you recommend? And we've said on this show before, 512K is what we now consider a minimum standard. It's not even negotiable.
64K on a Coco 1 and 2 and 512 on a Coco 3 is the
those
minimum.
are minimum standards. And then 2 megs. Right now, 2 megs mostly only benefits OS 9, but there will be probably RS-DOS games in the future that we're going to push to 512 boundary.
But that has
Chad has already said he's going to.
Yeah.
2 meg has the same caveat as the 6309 in that you have to unsolder your
Yeah,
CPU.
yeah, that becomes a slightly limiting factor.
Yeah, that's why they're
I'm
usually
going
sold
for
as a bundle too.
512
Is because if you're desoldering the CPU for one, you might as well put both in.
Somebody just said something about 512. I thought and I heard.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, hey, Paul T. Barton, the CEO of Barton Laboratories and Barton Industries.
Going for 512 megabytes. Yeah.
512 megabytes.
Megabytes.
That sounds like Paul. Half a gig. Come on,
You'd be able to
guys.
store your encyclopedia in that.
No, I was looking through my old compiling stuff for the CPLD, and I have notes that would go that far.
Wow.
Because the maximum you actually made, I think, was 64 meg, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Even Bill Gates said 640K should be enough.
Right.
I stick by that.
So based on the panel here right now, what do you guys think about this list of hardware? How many of you guys have this? How many of you, if you don't have it, are interested in getting one or more of all these?
Yep.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
I do have the Coco VGA, but I just haven't installed it.
Have you heard that song, I Want It All?
Yeah, Queen. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the 2 meg upgrade on its way, along with the 6309, and I've got Coco VGA. I've got the SGC.
Luckily, the Gimme is a tech.
SDC is a must.
You're chipmunking. Luckily, the Gimme X is a technically an easy update. I'm just hoping that the price will be not too crazy.
Yeah, the Gimme X is. You know what? I haven't had time, but I have the upgrade kit to flash the firmware on my Coco VGA, and I also have to fix my audio mod that I did. All I had to do was solder 2 wires, and apparently one of them has come unsoldered because my custom audio output's no longer outputting audio. So
you had one job.
I had one job. Yeah.
Yeah. A man after my own
You
heart.
couldn't even do that with a dam.
Alvin.
Now that's David Ladd now doing that, right, David?
What? What did I do?
Yes. Now we have David Ladd.
Can you mute him?
We can.
What do you mean mute me? What's going on?
Hey, Stevie, where did you acquire the upgrade kit?
I originally had it installed by Brendan at CocoFest this year.
Right.
And when I had him install it, I had him installed on my TDP 100 that already had a composite and audio mod. Mm-hmm. But for whatever reason, the audio out on that was really inconsistent. So I moved it to my white Coco 1, and moving it was real simple. You just, unplug it and resocket it and boom, you're done. But then I had to solder 2 wires to get the audio. One went to the RF can out, like pin 3 or pin 4 in the can out, and then one went to a ground on the motherboard. I soldered them. I've never soldered before, and I did, I had Tom C on a video call telling me what to do and how to do it. But I'm assuming one of the 2 joints I soldered has come off because the sound's not working. I just haven't had a chance to crack it open and look at it yet. So
you mentioned you mentioned a kit for the firmware upgrade.
Yes,
that's what I was. Was that a special connector or something you have to get?
It
from
is.
somebody,
Well,
or?
actually, I can show you in the
Here, I'll
bag.
stop sharing.
I don't have a way to make. I don't have my OBS set up to show you a big camera right now. So hopefully you can see. And I haven't even looked at it yet. But so one of these things is called a USB.
Can you zoom your screen in there, Steve?
No,
'Cause
I
you're-
don't. I don't have it set up to do that right now. So
Okay.
yeah. So one of them is called a USB blaster. And it's got like a wider kind of like, looks like an Atari joystick thing on one side and then like a micro USB on the other. Then we have this cable that I think converts it from the USB blaster to whatever the header connector is on the Coco VGA. Or that might be what this one here is. This little cable here might be what converts it to the header connector on the Coco VGA. So I haven't really messed with it yet. I'm pretty sure all the instructions are on the Coco VGA website. And push comes to shove, I'll just ping Brendan and get him to help.
And
me
that
figure out
same device, I think, also allows you to reprogram the Gimme X when you start doing updates.
Yeah, I think so. So there's a few pieces to it. There's a couple of ribbon cables. There's a USB connection. And then I think there's just an adapter that adapts the ribbon cable that comes out of the USB blaster to fit the right header connection that's actually on the Coco VGA. And then at that point, I'm assuming there's something I need to run on my PC to push the firmware through this blaster to have it actually blast the doohickey on there. So it should be straightforward. So that'll be my next hardware project. So.
But does this blaster allow you to have a blast with the new math tutor?
Having a blast with the new math tutor. We hope so. Yes. Are you done sharing, Al Curtis? Have you already finished sharing?
Yeah, that was the two things I thought had some discussion potential, especially the survey to see what people are planning on upgrading, so the software authors like Nick and Chet and myself can see what we can write for and still get a reasonably good sized market.
And we've been joined by Paulie T. OMG, Paul Thayer, the Slayer's with us. Hey, Paulie.
Hey, you guys hear me? Okay.
We can. We can. Did John Strong make it back yet? No, he's not. Okay. How about we do this? We will take a commercial break and then we'll come back and we'll discuss more things. We have our choices right now. Would we like to see let's see, we've got the Forest of Doom commercial with the big plans. We've got Coconut, Shortwave, and Boomerang commercials. We've got the OS9 Forever commercial. We've got Coco Forever with Wallaby and Fletcher. We have
new guys.
We're done number 8 yet.
Coco 2 Family. Oh, yeah. Okay. We'll do that one. We'll do commercial break number 8. All right. So, and there's the heavy breathing, folks. No extra charge. So we'll be back after these words.
And now a word from our sponsors. It's a Radio Shack Merry Christmas.
This year, I needed to give a real family pleaser.
Honey, please help me with this budget.
How about a new game, Dad? Please.
And I found it. Radio Shack's Color Computer 2. On sale for just $99.95. It entertains, educates, manages. It's expandable and affordable. Now that really pleases me.
The Color Computer 2. Sale price for Christmas. Only at Radio Shack.
Hi, this is Antonio Jimenez, author of such projects such as the Stevie Throw Devil and the SD Pack, and you're watching CoCoTALK in 3, 2, go.
Scared you, didn't I? Hello there, it's me, Simone, and I'm here to say a big hello to original gamer Stevie Throw. I don't know if that's how you pronounce your name, but I tried regardless. So if it's not, please insert the proper way to say it now. Now, I hope you're having a fabulous time. Hope you're having a fabulous new year. Season's greetings, all the above. All the way from Melbourne to you, my darling. And congratulations on your talk show, CoCoTALK. Oh my God, that's so exciting. I don't think I'd ever be good at a talk show. I just don't have anything ever to say, ever. Just can never think of things to say. It's just no words ever come out of my mouth. It's just very embarrassing. It's just silence all the time. My darling, I hope you're having a fabulous day. From me to you, bye.
Radio Shack, America's technology store.
Right! This Christmas, Tandy has a very special offer. A family color computer pack to take away at a very special price. This family computer comes complete with software and costs an incredible $449, a saving of $241.69. It's powerful, educational, and ideal for the young and young at heart. The easy way to start computing. The Color Computer Family Pack from Tandy. Get it while it's hot. Tandy, the biggest electronics store in Australia.
Hi, this is Sean Wheatley, and you're listening to CoCoTALK with the original gamer, Stevie Throw.
We're traveling through a dimension both of sound and ideas. We're at a place where the mind can comprehend and devise a solar radio. a wireless transmitter, measured time and light. 65 electronic projects brought to reality with this science fair kit. Astonishing? Perhaps. But you can find it for Christmas for $17.95 in a place that's known as Radio Shack.
Radios, stereos, recorders, everything in sound.
We now return you to CoCoTALK.
And we're back. Did John Strong make it back? He did not. I know he was trying to talk and he did not. Paul Thayer has joined us. Paul, did you have anything that you've been working on you want to share with us? Any updates on your 40 different projects you got going on?
No, I mean, I don't have anything updated. I'm just working on Downland 2 right at the moment.
Excellent.
So thought I'd listen to you guys and try this camera. My wife was wondering if it would work on the web. So
yeah,
that's it.
Okay.
I'm just going to listen to you guys chat it up.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Rick Adams, anything new and exciting with you want to share with us?
Well, I gave you a copy of Temple of Ram 2.
Yes.
And someday you will take a look at that.
We will.
And be so impressed. So I gave you, I published out a little map of, okay, there's some new rooms and new monsters and where they are. And, a couple of them that you can find right away in the game. The game is pretty much the same as it always was. But the maze is considerably expanded and it has 2 new enemies and
nice.
More portals and that sort of thing.
Now this also has that bottom pixel thing fixed too. That you said was something that you wanted fixed. Now, have you also updated any of the sound effects, like the ticket sound, or is it still going ticket?
No, it's still got the ticket.
Okay.
I tried really hard to make it do like a laser sound,
Uh-huh.
beer, beer, and I just didn't succeed. So
Okay.
I kept the ticket. It's terrible, but
well, it's classic.
Yeah.
So
it's
Rick?
It's better. Yes.
Can I ask a question? Because Nick Marentes is very good with those laser type samples and things. Is there anything that maybe he could help with?
Well, this is a really unusual project in that the complete source, as I'm working on it, is out on my GitHub. So it's like this is what you call open kimono. Everybody can look over my shoulder and see what I'm doing. Okay. And I made a change just last night to change the copyright date to 2020, and then I pushed it out to my GitHub. So you've got the latest and greatest out there. If you want to build it,
Gotcha.
That's fine with me. And I'm putting in the capability of generating your own level. So you could do your own, maze. You could put the treasures where you want. You could put the monsters where you want. It isn't a really easy process, but somebody that's reasonably technical could probably do it. So if somebody were to say, "Hey, look, dummy, if you want to do a laser sound, here's how you do it," and they were to come up with code and put it in and show me that it works, I would be happy to look at that.
There you go.
One quick thing on the sound thing too. I mean, Nick's shooting for a Coco 3, so he's got a programmable interrupt timer, which makes that a lot easier to do. Whereas you're doing it on a Coco 1 and 2, which doesn't have that, so you have to sneak it into the code. That's the big difference.
Right, that is true. I originally started out thinking I'm going to do it on a Coco 3. If I have to do 6309 code to get stuff done, I will. I started off with the same mindset that they have for those games, like the Battle for Earth and Digger 3, where you got to have a 6309, you got to have a Coco 3, you got to have this, you got to have that. I started that way, and eventually I just sort of slid back to now let's just make it for 1, 2, and 3. So.
Now, if you run it on the Coco 3, does it detect that and give you like the composite artifact colors, kind of like what you did with Bomb Threat?
I believe it does.
Okay. Right. So yeah. So that feeds into something where we kind of did this not too long ago. I'd like to do more of this, and maybe this can get into more discussions on things we can do on the show. But so we did Gold Digger. I keep saying Gold Digger. Digger 3. We did a live stream of Digger because I'm married to a gold digger. That's why I keeps coming back.
You were.
Welcome to Exhibit A in the divorce proceedings.
So we did the kind of group live stream, and we've done this a few times before. Pete Willard's asking where the GitHub location is, Ricky. Is that something you can verbalize, or can we put it in the chat? Is it rickadams.org or? There we go. Mark Overholzer just did.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay.
So I unfortunately it's a name that's very difficult to explain how to spell. So.
Yes.
So you only have the one Temple of Ram, right? I thought there was a Temple of Ram too, but I can't locate that.
It's called Temple of Ram in the GitHub.
Okay, that's the one I posted.
Yeah. Now I heard this, and I don't know if it's true, but I heard the working title for this project was Temple of Ram 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Is Mario Van Peebles making an appearance here at any point in time?
Or I could make a reference to the classic and call it Castle of Moore.
Castle of Moore.
Temple of SD Flash.
We
in space.
We did a live stream where we had a handful of people trying to play games at the same time. We were playing games. This was the Digger 3 we did not too long ago. And I like the idea of these kind of group gaming night things that we can do. And part of the challenge is if we want to show multiple split screens, and there's not an exactly easy way to do that. For those who have the ability to run a real Coco through a capture device, then you can make your capture device your camera in Zoom, and then we would see the game as your video. That would be the easiest solution.
Good to know.
Then another way to do it is if you're doing it on an emulator, you could capture the emulator through free software like OBS. And then OBS has a virtual camera that you could turn on and then feed that into Zoom and feed it. But it would be kind of neat if we could have like maybe 4 or more videos that are all live feeds of us playing a game. And Temple of Ram 2 would be a great one where we could all kind of play it together and show multiple perspectives at the same time. There's just a little bit of a technical hurdle to get the split screen looking good. But I'd like to plan things like that. Where we can do more of that and have those kind of the group gaming was fun, you know.
It was,
and so to do more of that would be kind of cool. And we've even pitched to do something like that with the Amigo Retro guys, and they're up to doing something like that too when their schedule permits. So I'd like to maybe work on some maybe technical tests on how we can do that and who's able to do it and who wants to do it and who's able to do it with either screen sharing or capture devices and stuff like that. It looks like John Strong is back. Alvin from the Chipmunks. Are you with us, John? You're muted right now.
Yeah.
And you're unmuted.
Okay, am I sounding all right?
Hey!
Yes. Welcome!
John Strong is here with proper audio.
Okay, I don't know why.
Mine does that too sometimes.
Yeah, all kinds of settings and everything. It just nothing worked.
First world problems.
Yeah, it made for great comic relief though.
I always found a reboot was the only way to get working properly after that.
Well, I had something else that I couldn't reboot just yet, so going on. So
what's new with you, Mr. Strong?
Well, just been working on development tools, and also had a guy idea that I've been working on. See if I can find it now. Oh, okay. Of course, this will not have the open slot in the top, but I'm working on a game cartridge, a size cartridge that will have a hinge lid.
Oh, a hinge. Okay. That's interesting. So you can swap out the ROMs or whatever.
Yeah. Well, again, when I talk about these, I always want to mention these. These are a very great cartridge, okay? but they're designed a very specific way for good reasons. Okay. But for development purposes, if you want to play with it, these are not too convenient.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay. You can't change the ROM cartridge out and everything. They have it screwed to attach to the top, which there's very good reasons because they give them more area to put the screws in and things. So they made some very good design decisions for something to put in a game cartridge. But those work against you when you want something that you want to open up easy and modify things, so that's why working on the development version of a game cartridge type unit that'll have a flip lid. And
is the lid going to be open like that?
No, I'm going to have it closed.
Okay.
The reason for opening it is there's two reasons. One, it prints a lot faster. Two, I can see where everything lines up on my test prints.
Gotcha. And once you've debugged that and finalized that, then you make it solid.
Yes. And so
I think it looks kind of cool like that, though, honestly.
Yeah.
Open.
Well, it is. I mean, if you had a clear piece of plastic to stick in there, that would be something else to also do. But yeah, it does look kind of cool open too.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea is I'm still working on the size of that. And
now, is that your own custom prototype board there?
This is actually, you can get these from Mike Rowland or whoever else.
Okay, so that's the John Linville one. Okay. Are those standard layouts? Because isn't there one that you had too, Mark D. Overholzer, that somebody else had made a prototype board?
Yeah, actually, I have the ones from Titanium Studios, which is Jason Steer Lee. And
are those the same layout with the whole designs, or are they possibly different?
No, his are designed to have one of these teensy boards on it. I have a couple here in 3 different colors.
Okay.
So they're designed to put a teensy processor board on and wire them in.
Okay, and they're also bigger than a game cartridge.
Yeah, they're more like a FD502 size.
Yeah, and so, yeah, I hadn't seen those to do. And, of course, this is, one of the game cartridges there. And the Game Master will also fit this and so on. Okay. This happens to be the one of the Coco EEPROM packs that designed it was out there. Okay. And it got jumpers so you can use different ROMs and so on.
Neat.
But the idea is, I'm thinking, well, you're doing this, you got to open it up. And so somebody asked me to actually put a hole in top of one so you could change jumpers.
The dip switches or whatever.
Yeah. And so I thought, okay, I can do that. But I'm thinking, well, I keep been debating to do this because it would really be nice to have something that has just a hinge on it. Because, well, you can snap cases in and out, or lids in and out, and I've got cases that do that, slide on snap. But they're easy to misplace. If you got a hinge with it, you always got the lid with it.
Yeah, no, that's neat.
And so that's one thing I've been playing with. And been working on my development tool set. And so looking at doing some other games, get them going. There's a particular game that I want to match what was done pretty much on another computer, maybe with some improvements in the way it looks. But to do that, I need to grab what they originally have. And my ripping tool needed upgraded. And so I've been doing that. And so it's been busy with those things.
Cool. In the live chat, Nimble says that open top would be neat for cartridges that have RGB lighting in them when you plug them in. Light up cartridge, that would be kind of cool.
Well, audio spectrum analyzer upgrade.
Right.
Well, the open top is nice. I like that. That's the reason why when I did for the Coco FPGA, okay, case, they had the clear plastic box top and stuff with it. I reused that plexiglass when I did the case for it because I looked at it and said, hey, it looks nice enough. I just want size on it. Okay. And so if I take it to Coco Fest or 10-day assembly and I have it there, you don't have a kid sticking their hands in it or spilling something on it. And it's got some protection. And
cool.
So I've been doing that, working on setting up to get another game going, getting back in gear. Things are getting much closer, moved in. We still a mess in here, but might see if you've seen earlier, there was a bed in here. It is now out. So I actually have my office, though I still got to set everything up yet. So I've been doing some Coco-ish related stuff on design. And I was curious to try and ask Brian. He got a copy of my disc tools, and I was trying to get set up with him to so I could walk him through how it works. I didn't get a reply back from him.
Yep, I still have your email there. I intend on getting with you. That's just been kind of busy the last couple weeks. So, but yes, I played with it a little bit. Looks very nice. But yeah, we'll connect.
Okay, so, just be very careful if you use the OS 9. I know there's a bug somewhere, and I haven't been able to figure out what re-triggered it. So,
Brian and I are in a similar boat right now too. We both have access to your disk tool, and we both also have access to now the wireless SD card in the Coco SDC. So what I'm doing right now with my with your disk tool, and I need to get back to it, but I'm working on a game for the Coco VGA, so I have to do it on real hardware. So I have the disk I'm working on, I mount it through my home network to the SD card. So I'm using your disk tools editor to edit the basic code that then pushes over to the SD card that's already in the Coco via Wi-Fi. So I don't have to pop out and eject and reinsert the SD card back and forth between my computer and my Coco. So that's like the next best upgrade to the Coco SDC is basically making that SD card wireless, you know.
Which card are you using? You using Toshiba's or?
What am I using? It is the Flash Air. Yeah, Flash Air.
Flash Air W4.
Yeah, version 4. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because there were some other ones that I had in there that we used. I supported a photographer use, and I bought one and had there, and it wasn't real reliable on the way they worked. And he was kind of locked into just using their software. And that was it. And so I haven't tried the Flash Air version 4.
Yeah. The Flash Air W3 and W4 both have the WebDAV that lets you set them up as a basically set them up with an access point, so you can connect to your local network and then you connect to it through that.
Is that a 32 gig?
They come in different sizes. The one I got is a 16 gig, but yeah.
You don't want to go above 32 gig because unless you reformat it, which may or may not work, the FAT drivers in the Coco SDC won't see it if it goes above 32 gig. So 16 gig or 32 gig. If you have questions, ask myself or David or Jim Brain. David knows too. So
yes, I have the 64 gig Flash Air version 4 because the version 3 wouldn't work with my new router. So you just have to have a utility that'll format the 64 gig as FAT32 because Windows, Microsoft's great vision, decided to remove the ability to format FAT32 on anything larger than 32 gig, which is personally stupid, but you know, they, for some reason, Microsoft thinks that they know better, which they don't.
They want people to go to X FAT32.
Don't hold back, David. Tell us what you really think.
Yeah, the FAT-EX doesn't work with the Coco SDC. It isn't able to read it. So.
No. FAT32 never did do more than 32 meg. You had to do FAT32EX.
Actually, FAT32 will support all the way up to 2 terabytes.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Yeah, it will.
Yes, sure.
The file system supports it, but Microsoft has feature locked its GUI format utilities to not go higher than 32.
The cluster size is bad.
But yeah, I've actually formatted back in the day hard drives 1 terabyte and bigger in FAT32. But honestly, for a Coco, 16 gigs is a shit ton of space when your average floppy disk is 160K or something. So
heck, I'm only using a 2 gig card, and I thought that was way too much.
Yeah, Yeah,
That's-
I bet you've only got 4 slots on your multi-pack too, eh?
I don't even have them. I've got 1 slot in my Coco, and that's it. So,
Well, it's glad to hear about the flash here. I knew the
yeah.
the
The,
sufficient
the
hard
only
exist, but
the only caveat is that it becomes read only. Once you touch the files on your computer, you can only modify them from the PC. You can't modify them again on the Coco. So like if I wanted to make a change in BASIC on the Coco and save it back, it won't save it back because it's read only on the Coco side. Because it's kind of like a file lock scenario. So the fact that I opened up the file on the PC has locked it to the SD card where they can read but not write.
so they've got a lock on it. Okay. Do
Yeah.
you if you disconnect from the card,
I don't know if I'd have to unmount it from the computer or not. I'm not sure if it's, I haven't really played with it that much. I just found that was the one downside, but it's not a huge downside because typically it's typically when we're dragging it to the SD card, it's kind of one way. It's never usually coming back to the computer.
well, that's fine. I just was
Yeah.
kind of curious at this
Yeah.
first thing that.
Well, if you power cycle the Coco, or eject the SD card and then stick the SD card back in, then it reinitializes as being free. So
Okay, so you do have access with it easy enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, you just have to force it to release
You
it.
can't just unmount the disk image from Coco SDC, free it up.
No, it's the Flash Airs firmware.
Yeah,
keeps
it's
it
probably
locked.
blocking it. Yeah.
Okay.
And even though that it's in the config file, it's set up to not have it locked. It's always kept the files locked after you upload it. And usually all I've had to do is if I turn over to the Coco, eject it, stick it back in, then hit reset on the Coco, which then forces the SDC to refresh the contents of the card. And then I just, go about my business. Oh.
Yeah, it's definitely handy though. It's terrible that we live in a time that we need to complain about the fact that the hardest part of using our Coco is the manual process of taking the SD card from our PC back to our SD card and having to, do that back and forth. These are definitely first world problems. So,
Well, let me just respond to that complaint with, wah.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't that the one usually? Do you want some wine with that, or some cheese
Some
with that
cheese
wine?
with that wine, yeah, absolutely.
And does it have to be the Flash Air brand?
That's the one that works, and that's the one that we know how to make the config file do what we want. I'm not saying you couldn't do it with others, but I don't know anybody that's had any success with it.
You're on your own.
Yeah, your mileage may vary, as they say on that other show.
Flash era.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, because there's a big price difference. The typical 32 gig card is about $8. These are like 65.
Yep. Well, it's got it's got firmware and it's got an operating system and file sharing and all kinds of stuff going on.
And the Wi-Fi unit.
Unit.
Yeah.
So
yeah, basically they've got to run, full.
it's a computer baked into an SD card.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
they've
it's
always been a premium for those. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually they're meant for photographers so they can quickly get their photos off the SD card and then keep shooting. So, it's just
Actually, the default mode is it actually is an access point. You can have 7 units connect to it. So you can leave it in your camera. You can actually have your phone connected directly to it. And as you take the photos, then your phone will pull them. You can see them in real time. That's how they're default set up.
Or push them up to the cloud from your phone. Yeah.
Yep, or that too.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, Steve, off the talk, get with me on the stuff with you're doing with the Coco VGA, because I actually have some things that could be probably fairly easily modified to assist you on that. Okay. So if you're working on a PC to development, because I've looked at that, I just don't have a Coco VGA yet. And
yeah, I'm basically just using your tool as the editor so I can edit on a real computer. And then but the disk image that I'm editing is actually mounted on the SD card. So as soon as I'm done, it's ready to roll on on the Coco.
I was thinking with the graphics, we could do something to do it on the PC as well if you needed to.
Ah, okay. I'm not doing graphics yet. I'm just doing like custom font type stuff. So everything I'm doing is that way. But that's good to know.
Okay.
Who else has got any updates that they want to talk about? Any projects they've worked on this week? Any acquisitions? We've heard from Brian, and that's a very cool cartridge, John Strong. Thanks for sharing. Anyone else? Anyone? Bueller? Brian Schubring. Well, your camera background thingy is erasing that circuit board you just held up, Brian, the music man. He's giving us the finger. So
well, I had a quickie.
Mark Bosley's got something for us.
Fully, all the travel arrangements are made for Coco Fest.
Hey,
I'm booked. Now we need his tickets.
Someone else for me to have fun with.
Yeah.
You've been warned.
You see what David Ladd looks like, so you know what to avoid once you're there.
Oh, come on. Everybody here that has seen me in person knows I'm not a bad person. Jeez.
Scary, that's all.
Just keep telling yourself that.
Do we know something? Yeah, okay.
David Ladd.
Fine, I'm going to mute myself now.
Oh, no.
David Ladd, use only as directed.
You only hurt the ones you love, remember?
Yes.
This brings up the mind of the fact that a British estimate says there may be aliens living among us.
I do have one or two things I can share, and I think we should probably open up a discussion to our viewers who are with us right now too about some ideas we have for doing more things on the show, or just doing things differently on the show. So some of the internal discussions we had were how we're handling the news, and just to take things like 2 or 3 steps back. For a while, it seemed like the news segment was the last segment of the show, so it was always kind of rushed. And then because of both of my hunger and short attention span, I never wanted the news. I don't want the show going past like 5 o'clock, because then I start to get hangry, right? So we made a decision to let's do the news at the top of the show, and then make it a. My God, what is going on with the oxygen tents in this show here today? We got all kinds of stuff. Yeah. So we recently made news come first in the show, and then some discussions came up saying, well, what is news? Is it really news if you're pulling it from Facebook or you're pulling from that? And so we kind of discussed that, and we said, yeah, well, we still think it's kind of news, and we can add some value to it. But obviously, we got 27 people watching us right now. We'd love to hear what you guys think. And then recently we got to the point where some of the stuff we're doing in news is Curtis is reviewing some video games from a handful of people, especially on the Dragon side. And we're seeing things that we typically haven't seen or don't see very often. And personally, I have enjoyed those. But one of the comments was, well, don't make it part of the news. Just move it over to the gaming segment, which we've done. And so now we're showing these videos in the gaming segment. And now I'm asking the question of, should we possibly take that a step further, and rather than just showing you a video of a game that's on YouTube that anybody can go watch for themselves, maybe we should pick one of those games and let's play it live on the show. So I guess the first question to the panel and to the audience is, what do you guys think of adding, maybe not every week, but from time to time, some actual live game review or game playing as part of the CoCoTALK show? Yay or nay based on the panel right now?
Yay, as long as it's not you.
As long as it's not me.
Yes, wow. we need to see beyond level 1, Stevie.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Yay, as long as Lancer is banned.
I think that could work if we don't do it all the time.
Yeah.
Hashtag team buzzer bait.
Set a timer, run it for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And
Right. So the idea was, if we're just showing somebody else's YouTube video of the game, that's great. And yeah, because honestly, the stuff Curtis has found, I didn't know that they were out there. And even if I did, I'm not necessarily going to have the time in my normal day to stop and watch those videos. So the fact that we've managed to make it part of the show is literally the only time that I'd have to see it. So I still have enjoyed seeing that. But I was thinking maybe we could, if we can plan it and our timing is good enough, Curtis can let us know ahead of time, hey, here's the 5 Dragon games or whatever games that I'm going to show this week. And we can decide, well, one of these, we really like this one game, so let's play it ourselves, you know. And we'll pick that one and try to do a live playthrough of that.
Yeah, in some cases we'll have to use the Dragon emulator because some of them are hard-coded for the Dragon. So.
Right, which would be XRoar or whatever the case may be. So what am I getting here? I'm getting, see, I can't see it because of my screens. There's somewhere somebody's chatting on this and I can't see it. Breathing,
Why is Darth Vader on here?
Yes. Somebody's got their microphone too close to their face and they're breathing and we can hear it. So please, everybody check your mics. So based on the panel, I think the panel's like, yeah, we should, it's okay. Right now, audience, viewers right now, what do you guys think of us adding some live video game feed to the show as a segment? Maybe not.
Yes, audience. We'd like to hear from both of you.
I think the problem is going to be that because we're doing, for lack of a better term, a variety show, you're never going to find that perfect mix that's going to make everybody happy. You know, there's people out there who are hardcore hardware guys, hardcore development guys, hardcore OS9 guys. So we got a diverse community. We're not going to be able to please everyone.
Don't forget the hardcore trolls, but they
the
control
hardcore trolls. True.
I would say put it at the end of the show or towards the end.
Towards the end of the show. Okay.
And I can drop off.
I mean, it does sound good. I mean, because when we did that stream of
with Rob
Forest of Doom,
yes,
that was a blast.
Yes, it was.
I think it's the last time I really got to do anything like that.
Right,
so that was a blast.
It was a bigger blast than the new math tutor for damn sure.
Absolutely.
What were the numbers like for Digger 3, that live stream we did?
I mean, that's a good question. I'm not sure. I probably 100 at this point. You know. Jason Down says I vote for live game playing. Al Hartman says I prefer gameplay videos to be a separate event. Pete Willard is saying as long as it's not too long, like maybe 20 minutes would be excessive. Grant Lady says at the end of the show and don't have Stevie play it. Okay.
The Chet Simpson Digger 3 on Friday last week was 95 so far.
Okay.
Well, you know what made that unique too was a lot of people playing it at the same time.
Yeah.
And sharing that experience. So if you could capture something like that in the show, maybe it would be a little bit more entertaining.
Yeah, and I think that experience will probably end up being a separate show. We do want to have more of these like group gaming sessions.
These would have to be quick playthroughs as part of the main show. This wouldn't be an extended. I think we should have specials like we did with Digger 3.
Yeah,
people can join in.
But
gotcha.
All right, so it seems like between the panel and the few people that have chimed in on the live chat, nobody's opposed to it. So we'll find a way to make it work. And like everything else, it's kind of you got to do it a few times to figure out the sweet spot on it. So. But
few or 142 times.
Yes, it might be. All right. So now to that note, I would like to debut something that nobody has seen yet because these have never been posted to, for the most part, not been posted to YouTube. And I'll let you guys pick which one. But I came across a handful of videos that I recorded back in like 2016. And since we know that we are in 2020, that was 4 years ago. So there was a few videos I recorded of Coco gameplays that I never posted. But the funny part is I was playing these with my daughter Megan, who at the time then was maybe 6 or 7 years old. And so they're her and I playing these games. And I think some of the reasons why I didn't post them was like she was saying a lot of things. So these were like real world kids say the darndest things kind of bloopers. And so I'm like, all right, I'm not going to post that. But now that I've seen them, I kind of thought they were funny. So last night, Megan and I watched these videos and we kind of recorded our reactions to these old videos. So I am going to post these because these are kind of like from the archives, never before seen Coco video bloopers with reactions. So I got 4 to choose from. You guys tell me which one you'd like to see. And I'll tell you how long they are too. So I've got one which we are reacting to a video of us playing Double Back from 2016. We have one from reacting to Downland. We have one, and I have 2 where we actually not only did we do a reaction, but then we did a redo where we replayed the games last night too. So I've got Shark Treasure, where we reacted to the old video of her and I playing it, and then we actually played it again last night. And then I also have Christmas Rush. And just to let you know how long they are too. So the double back reaction video is about 6 minutes. The Downland one is about 9 minutes. The Shark Treasure, which has got 2 parts, reactions and replay, that's 12 minutes. And then the Christmas Rush reaction and replay is about 15 minutes. So I figured maybe one of these is worth sharing. And which one do you guys think we should go for?
I'll vote for Shark Treasure.
Shark Treasure. I got 1 vote for Shark Treasure. Anyone else? Anyone?
Double back.
You know my bias.
Rick Adams says double back. All right. I got 1 for Shark Treasure, 1 for double back. Anyone else?
I'll say double back.
2 for double back. Got
Double back.
3 for double back. Okay, so double back is the shortest of all of them. I'll play that one, and if you guys are indulgent and tolerant enough, then we can play another one. All right. I don't need to see this now. This was us doing our reactions last night. All right, so here we go. This is a video recorded originally in 2016, so about 4 years ago. Never seen the light of day. You're going to see it now here first. What's going on, everybody? We're back. Who am I?
I don't know.
Who are you?
I don't know.
Okay. I'm Megan, and this is my dad, Stevie Stroh. And we are doing our second reaction video to some Coco video games that we recorded 4 years ago that I don't think have ever got published to YouTube or seen the light of day. For our second video replay and reaction, Megan has decided to watch Double Back. So here we go, and let's see how we did in Double Back 4 years ago.
I used to like the game.
Okay.
Oh,
so,
wow.
So what we're looking at here today, folks, is kind of interesting because we're playing Double Back. And the cool thing about this right now is this is a game I played when I was a kid, and this was a favorite game of mine. In 1982 on my color computer. It was a cartridge I got from Radio Shack. It was written by a person named Dale Lear, who has gone on to he went on and did lots of other things for the color computer throughout its history in the 80s and the 90s. And I believe he's still doing things now because there's a version of this game for the iPad. But what I find to be very cool about this right now is that we are now going to have 2 generations playing this game, because I'm going to be playing this that I played when I was a kid, and I also have my kid with me. My kid is, well, I can't turn the camera, never mind. Well, my kid's right next to me in a chair. Her name is Megan. And Megan, look at your little face. I'll go first so she can see how I play it. And basically we have to just move the stick around and draw circles around all the objects for points, all right?
Okay.
So it's like a lasso. Yes, exactly what you're doing there.
No, I'm just doing whooping gun style.
You're doing whooping gun style. Okay. So you moving your little stick around, and this is being played on a real color computer with real color computer controllers. The first time I made a video on this, I was playing it on an emulator. And the emulator is very difficult to capture the feel of these old school color computer controllers. And so you just have to draw circles around all the things on the screen. Now, if you can draw circles around, oh, I just got killed. If you can circle a whole bunch of things at once, you get more bonus points. You ready? It's your turn. So it's the way it controls, you have to really get used to. Don't move the stick too hard. Can you imagine like a 5-year-old kid trying to use a Black Beauty? That's not an easy thing for them to pick up and play with, you know?
Slower.
So you can do very gentle moves on this stick. And so you see how I'm doing it kind of slowly right now?
Yeah.
You can almost stop, but you have to have good control of your stick. See how slow? And then I can slow it down. I can circle.
Oh my God, it won't tickle on it. It's not gonna look.
Ah, I got too close and I hit the cherry.
Oh, I got too close and I hit the chocolate.
No. Your turn. And so it's really as simple as circling objects for points and not crashing into anything. But yeah, you can't go too fast and too crazy because it gets really hard to control yourself. You have to look out for those magnets because they move around.
It's really hard.
What do you think of the game, though? Is it neat?
Yeah.
And this game is like 35 years old. Almost as old as your mom.
I really wish I could pee right now.
Are you serious or are you just being silly? I think that's why we never aired this one. She's like, I really wish I could pee right now. What about now? Do you need to pee now too?
Okay, I just got
to pee. Oh, okay.
Look at the mine can't do.
The magnet. The magnet gives you points, but see, the magnet moves around. Like some of those fruits, they just stand there. So, a little bit challenging to control, but it's very cool. It's actually very fluid and very responsive.
Ooh.
Now, if you can get two things at once, you get more.
Have you seen enough of this?
Okay.
All right. So there we go. There was the funny moment there. Megan shared that she had to pee. That's probably why I didn't upload this, because I'm like, I can't post a video where my kid says she's got to pee. But we're gonna post it now.
Delvaux does that.
I got to pee video because
Still roller skate.
it's funny, right?
Yes.
All right. The things that children say. Say goodbye, Megan.
Roller skate.
Bye.
Roller skate. Okay. Chair.
Okay, Stevie, on
Want me
double
to
back.
pause the
There's
video?
a couple.
That was it. Let me switch back to the main screen here. Hold on one second.
Okay. There's a couple tricks on double back, okay, that are very useful in playing in high scores. And one is center your joystick
Mm-hmm.
and let the magnets circle around you. Okay, if you're not moving, they'll move over you and not kill you.
Oh, and you're in the center of the magnet itself, right?
Okay, and then you can just move down and circle it.
Okay, because you have at that point you've got a stack of magnets all overlaid on the.
Yes. Okay. The other trick is, instead of circling the item, you can actually do a curved figure 8 underneath of it. And if you go up far enough, it folds the circle routine to think that you have circled the piece, and it'll do it. So that is the two.
Exploiting a bug.
Yeah, that is the two tricks. Okay.
Okay.
Double back was my mother's favorite game for the color computer, and I don't remember who found the tricks. Okay, with there, it could very well have been her, because she played it for a long time, a lot. Okay, and so those were two tricks for double back.
That was a bug that Dale knew about, but he figured that nobody would ever find it.
We found it. And I did tell Dale about it, okay, when I met him once. Because I said, hey, Dale, good to meet you. Double back is my mom's favorite game. And well, here's a couple things. We found out about it.
Yeah. It truly is a unique game. It was not like anything else I had ever seen, and it's a lot of fun. It's really, the visual style on it is so cool. The gameplay is fun. It's one of the games that makes you not hate the fact that you had Black Beauties, because it actually exploits the smoothness of those Black Beauty sticks. So
it also allowed variable skill levels simultaneously. Like you were playing with your daughter, you could do the circle, 15 objects at once to make massive bonus points, but that's
Right.
harder for a young child.
Right.
But the young child can have just as much fun and playing it just as long as you, just doing one at a time.
One at a
so
time,
it had
yeah.
automatic, skill selection built in too.
Yeah.
So you're saying Stevie's better than Megan?
I'm not so sure. Matter of fact, I think when we did the Shark Treasure video as we were doing our playthrough last night, she ended up rage quitting. I'm like, oh yes, I guess you inherited that.
It runs in the family.
Yeah, it runs in the family.
Nice.
It runs in the family.
Hey,
Well,
hey, John.
actually,
Hey, John, could you repeat that figure 8? Which one? How did that work again? You were describing?
do a figure 8 with kind of curved up at the ends underneath the piece. Okay, you get as close as possible to what you're trying to circle, but you circle in a figure 8, you kind of double back underneath of it. And if you create it right, you have to practice a little bit, but after you practice a little bit, you get to where you're creating it, and then you can the software thinks you circled it, and they pop out.
But so one of the loops of the 8 does not actually go around the object itself, though.
No, they don't go around. They're underneath.
Okay.
The more you go up the side of it with that figure 8, kind of like I said, it's a distorted figure 8. Up the side of it, more likely you're going to pop it out. You just have to practice to see how.
So you're saying you're doing a figure 8 next to the object, or you know right underneath it. So you don't. So the object is not in either side of the 8 at all.
You crossover point in the center underneath of the object.
Okay.
And you do 2 loops on the sides, basically.
2 loops on the side.
Okay.
And sometimes you have to take those loops up a little along the side of it a little bit. So like I said, it's kind of a distorted figure 8, but it's that's the best way to describe it.
Okay. Interesting.
The way that Dale described it to me was that if you have a part of the line to the left of the object and to the right of the object, and you've closed the circle, then it's that does it.
Okay.
So it doesn't really actually have to be.
It may not have to be a
around the
figure
thing.
eight. We didn't. This is how we found and what we used. The way to exploit the trick.
Interesting.
So had we had the internet back then, that
Right,
bug would
and I
probably
think
spread like.
I think in the interview with Dale, he did mention what the actual algorithm was as far as how it was checking. So we could go back and play that to hear it. Now that is interesting. So, and it's a fun game, and I know if you play it long enough, you start to see a lot of interesting things too, like skulls on the screen that don't go away.
Yes.
And then other things like spiders that will chase you, and God knows what else, right? So
that big pulsating X thing, which is after the skulls.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's one of those things. The longer
And the
you play,
spider should look kind of familiar if you've played Temple of Rome.
So, yeah, but I thought that was kind of an interesting thing to find. Number one, videos that I never posted before, so they're kind of like little hidden gems, and then having the opportunity to have my kid who was in them before look at them again and see how she reacts now. So I've got a few more of those, and those will get posted to YouTube.
I actually have a couple things that if you guys would like to see, I could share.
Okay.
Okay, let me see where you're share. And okay, looks like I can do just this would be a little better. Let me share this first. And
looks like a Spectrum game.
It is.
Okay.
And it's not lined up on things, but it's a way to get some of the details and stuff out of the other games, so you can rebuild it in Coco.
Now, what is this Rip'em? Is this something you made?
Yes.
Okay. And what are we looking at?
This is from Jetpack.
And Jetpack is what, a Spectrum game?
That's from Spectrum.
And then what's the goal here? To be able to rip what you see from the screen and convert it to a tile set that you can put into the Coco?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And so.
Oh, Centipede. I recognize that game. So you pull up just an image and then it rips the image into identifiable things.
It probably assumes so many columns and so many rows and then turns them into tiles.
Yes. I know you probably have to edit them because they don't always match up and line up.
Yeah, no, that's neat though.
Okay. And
I mean, it does it pretty quickly.
Okay.
The advantage of gigahertz processors.
1.21 gigawatts.
Okay, but I was working on fixing some bugs and improving this.
Okay, so this is one of your tools that you would use, like if you wanted to clone something, you could pull in the artwork from it, and
yes, and help to get the color set and so on.
Yeah.
And color set issues because the machines can have a wide range that the Coco doesn't support, or more colors than the Coco support.
Until the Gimme X, anyway.
Yeah. Okay. And so those are the.
Yeah, I love the way Spectrum stuff looks. There's something really.
And I've got it where I can add offsets and things like that. And since I've been working on this, I can probably very easily break it. Okay, because I don't have all the changes done to it. And but you can go and grab.
Oh wow.
Okay, and I think Bonks is. I think they use a 16 by 16. Yeah, we're creating a lot of tiles with that. It's probably let's see what I'm set up here on rip size. And let's see if we come down on that count. Yeah.
Considerably.
Came drastically down, so they're using a 16 by 16 tile. And of course, when you're grabbing a game, you're not always, you'll know that you're lined up with that tile map that they're producing, because it can grab it.
Right, because it can do it can do a smooth scroll like one pixel
And that's
at
the
a
reason
time or
for these
something.
things like these vertical and horizontal offsets and stuff being put in there.
That's really cool.
And so, yeah, this is something I've had a long time. I haven't used it a whole lot. I have showed it at a Coco Fest or something before. And it's something I thought you guys would enjoy seeing.
Absolutely.
Just all of you guys, I know you weren't in the Coco when I showed it at the fest. Okay. And so that's one item. Okay.
Now how much would you pay?
Okay.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah, there's more.
Now we're going to cut open a soda can with it.
Gonna get the set of Ginsu knives. Dr. Coco, I remember seeing this quite some time ago.
Yeah, and so this is something I do need to get back to and get finished.
What medical school did this Dr. Coco go to?
Okay, come on.
Yeah, I remember you explained to me how this game is supposed to be played. Of course, I don't remember what the strategy was at this point.
It's a Dr. Mario clone.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah, okay. Just matching the colors, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just match colors.
Yeah.
It appears to be working.
Yeah, I have this for the NES somewhere.
It does work. I just need to finish the graphics and make sure all the levels.
What's the minimum number before they go away? It has to be 4? 4 of the same color?
3.
3? Okay.
You add 3, you got to have 4 in a row to.
And so the ones that are bugs are kind of immovable, right? So you kind of have to clear those guys out of the way.
Yeah.
Oh, it is 4, huh?
Yeah, because there's 3.
I thought it was 3 all the
time. 3
time.
yellows that are not moving right now.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, it's 4.
Okay.
You just
So
add 3 to the
aliens or whatever they are.
Yeah, the viruses.
Oh.
That's pretty cool.
Hence, Doctor. Yeah. Nice.
Oh, so you. Yeah, that's neat. And so the idea is to get rid of the bugs. Those are the sickness, right? So you want to get rid of.
Mm-hmm.
Get down with the sickness. No, that's cool.
Okay. So I just thought, we're doing some games.
Now, does this have a real-time clock with it?
No.
Now, if you could just get the music like they have on the NES.
Well, I haven't done the music on it yet. Okay. That's the other.
Now, that would be really cool if you could pull that off. That'd be great. But this looks really nice.
I have somebody who was supposed to do some of the music who's been so busy he hasn't done it for me. So
His name doesn't happen to rhyme with Alan Huffman, does it?
I'm being quiet.
That's awesome. Looks great.
In other words, yes.
It doesn't rhyme with it.
Does it rhyme with Lowlin Uffman?
But
yeah, that's neat.
Looks great.
So yeah, it'll happen sometime. It just.
Does this require 6309 and 2 megs of memory?
And this is running as a cartridge.
Yeah, very cool. Dr. Coco.
Dr. Coco.
So it is.
Not to be confused with Dr. Pepper.
Curtis.
Yeah. Is there going to be a diet Dr. Coco? David Ladd might like one of those. So.
Either way, I probably wouldn't recommend mixing your
play
Dr. Coco with water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as long as you play it long enough that you don't eat anything, then it would be a diet Coke. If you get hooked on
Call me Dr. Coco.
Don't play the game on an empty stomach.
Yeah, that's really good.
That is neat.
Okay, so I just.
There we go. Well, we had a game on segment there. If we had known that was going to be a game, we could have done an intro for it. But yeah, we'll do an outro.
Now we know how the segment's going to go.
Yes.
It's almost like it was planned.
Yeah.
Well, you were showing some games some stuff that people hadn't seen, so I just thought
that's neat.
I'd pull this out a little
So
bit.
is this going to be a cartridge release set?
Yeah, this will be a cartridge release.
Ooh.
Bum bum bum.
What about
There's 2 cartridges I might have to get.
your custom joystick controllers? You've been working on those?
I need to get those out. I mean, that's one of the reasons these haven't been there. I want to play test them with the controllers, make sure they, it's based on the controller. I mean, these you can play with the keyboard, and I can test that, but I want to have the real controllers and test them with the controller. Sometimes the feel of the controller is a bit different than the keyboard, so I'll make sure my timing and everything just feels right with the keyboards. So
cool.
all right.
Cool. There you go. You
great.
saw it there. Sneak peek of Dr. Coco.
I like it.
John Strong.
Not to be
Strongly.
confused with Doctor in Coco.
Doctor. Yeah. Speaking of Doctor and Coco, do we have a new Joey in Coco? Let's see.
Yes,
Where
we
has
do.
it? We do.
We do have a new Joey in Coco, which would be, is that number 13?
There's a direct link to it actually that I have.
What are the chances? Because last week, wait a second. I'm trying to do my math here. Okay, so I guess Joey and Coco number 12 was the video. That's one that we saw last week, right? And so how about we do that? How about we replay that real quick? And for some reason, there we go.
New cartridge for Christmas, kid?
Nope, my buddy Glenn down the street borrowed it to me.
Wait, one of my brothers is nearby?
Couldn't it be his sister?
Get me the serial number and I'll tell ya.
All right, so that was number 12, which we showed off last week, right? So Joey and Coco. So Coco's realizing he might have a relative nearby. So here we have number 13, and this one is called What Are the Chances? And so here we go. Panel number 1. Did you get the serial number from your friend Glenn's Coco? And Joey says, I'll go over this weekend. Why are you so interested? And Coco says, maybe he's one of my buddies from the assembly plant. And then Joey says, did all you Cocos get along? And Coco's, mostly, although there was this one guy in my batch who was a royal pain. But what are the chances, right? So the one guy he couldn't get along with, what are the chances that guy might be his neighbor?
I think that's what we call foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing.
What are the chances? I got along with everybody except this one guy.
When I return to my village, I will be married. Don't say that.
Oh Lord! Another great work from what did we end up calling him? The Duke of all Coco Media. He didn't want to be called the King of all. So DeBruce Moore is the Duke of all Coco Media. Good job.
That's what D stands for.
Oh, D for Duke. Have we run out of topics now? Have we said what we need to say? Anyone else? Okay, now we have Brian, the Music Man Schubring, is holding up a large device that hopefully we can see now.
Senile.
Hold on, Brian. Let me make your video larger. Okay, what are we looking at, Brian?
This is actually a project that I started about 15 years ago. Dual serial pack with MIDI pack all together.
Where does it plug into?
Looks like an ISA card that could go in a PC or something.
Yep.
It's actually set up to go into, it'll fit into a multi-pack.
Okay.
If you don't have it in the case. I was actually going to put this together with my repack Coco, but my repack Coco died and I was never actually able to fully test this unit. So it was never really used.
A double serial, double MIDI?
Single MIDI dual cereal.
Single MIDI dual cereal.
Yep.
Is it MIDI in,
Lettuce,
out, and through?
cheese, special sauce on a sesame seed bun.
It wasn't quite the Big Mac.
Who needs an MPI when you can get 15 things on one card?
Like
This sounds right up David's alley.
it's more like Cocoa Puff if it's a cereal.
Maybe, yeah. I was using the Big Maxium dual channel chip for putting out the RS232 signals from the 6551s.
Very cool.
That's
I'd
all.
like to
I
acknowledge
found it. I just
something.
wanted to share it. I might even
That's a
sell
lot
it
of
at the next
LSI.
Cocoa Fest.
That would be good.
I'd like to acknowledge something if that's okay. It's not directly Coco related, but for me it was indirectly Coco related.
Okay, Nick Morota.
When I was a teenager, being a good Canadian boy, some of my favorite times were spent in my room playing with my Coco and listening to Rush. And as we know, this week, Neil Peart, drummer from Rush, passed away, and it's really weighing heavily on me. So he was definitely a big part of my, like I said, playing the Coco and listening to, I guess, be moving pictures and signals back. That would be the albums that.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, it makes me sad. It's definitely a part of my childhood that I cherished.
Yeah.
Just want to acknowledge
when,
that.
when you think about all the legendary rock and roll drummers, how many rock and roll drummers do we all know by their full name? You know, like John Bonham,
Exactly.
Neil Peart,
Richard Starkey.
Richard Starkey, right?
So yeah, Neil Peart, probably one of the most quintessential rock drummers.
Ginger Baker.
Yeah. Neil was also the main lyricist for us too. He's quite an
does
intellectual
Ringo
too.
Starr make that list?
I believe he already did, just under his real name.
So, yeah. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize he wrote a lot of the lyrics too. That's pretty cool.
Stevie Stroh.
He was a big Ayn Rand fan. That influenced a lot of his lyrics, like 2112. That sort of stuff.
Gotcha. All right. Well, we will all pause for a moment of silent meditation as we remember Neil Peart. Okay, as you were.
I'm sorry. Who was? It's just funny how you associate. For me, music is associated with a lot of memories.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but who is Rush?
Rush Limbaugh. Come on.
Rush Limbaugh. Nice.
Come on.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, we are coming up on 2 hours, and 2 hours is probably a good sweet spot for a length of a show. So for a show about
really have to
nothing,
cut it.
Because we'll be back later.
we're going to be
Yep.
back in a couple of hours with interviewing the Amigos Retro Gaming Group. So
Yay!
guys, same channel, just slightly later time. So 6 p.m., which would be
6 p.m. Is that Florida
2
time?
hours. Yeah, 6 p.m. Florida
Eastern
time, Eastern Standard Time. So about 2 hours from now, we'll be back right here on this channel as we talk to those guys. Anybody else got anything else you want to talk about before we start to play the closing
Yes.
credits? Oh, Christ. Yes, David.
I'll slap him later.
Yeah.
David.
Oh, thanks,
Christ
Mark.
was
I
a relative
always
of
needed
David.
some of that.
Yeah.
So, does everybody have their grease weasels yet? I do. Now,
To spend a moment and talk to you about
Grease Weasel was-
the Church of Grease Weasel
I
Consciousness.
would like to say thank you, everyone, for joining us today on CoCoTALK, and we hope to see you this evening. And I'm going to say goodbye and see you tonight.
All right.
Did you notice on Chet's list of things that people want, Grease Weasel was not on the list?
Neither was anything
Just
of
pointing that
the
out.
none of the Joey series of products was on there either. So
Yes.
but
So
Nightmare Highway made the list.
Yeah, controller adapter.
Yeah, no, the control
Kinda.
adapters was mentioned as a general.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
since David was one of the last people to speak, I do have a nice fun video.
Oh, Curtis
we can
could
play
do
here
Nightmare
for me.
Highway review.
I have a
So that-
video
that
that I like
voice.
to call "Trolling David." Let's play this and then we'll play the outro. Yeah, no, with Terry.
And
Drive wire. He had to wear long sleeves because
you're gonna make me look this up on Snow.
Semi-graphics mode.
Jig needs for the he was never a situation happens with the
I was hoping it was right, but I didn't want to.
But what about it's something that no one's really ever thought of. I tried it, I wanted to practice him, but then I returned, and then I'm actually back in a text mode DDG. But it's like crap because it was the code for HR were already practice mode, and it wasn't, and it's just completely
I don't think those interactions have been
drive wire,
and that's one of the things why I said some of those display codes in the specific modules rather than in VTIO, because then VTIO can be left alone, and then when you do the display, then it's handled by that. Those control codes are handled by that code module, and then because right now, the only thing that Curtis has
like John Strong right there.
Really, are you recording this, Steve?
Not at all, David. Dry wire, VDG, VGA.
So what I was thinking is that you'd have
TTL, drive wire.
This concludes another episode of CoCoTALK, the world's leading live talk show featuring the Tandy Color computer. For all things CoCoTALK, visit us on the web at cocotalk.live. We'd love to hear from you. Send feedback, suggestions, even segments via email to cocotalk@cocotalk.live.
CoCoTALK is rocking the 8-bit world, keeping the Tandy flame alive. We may be mocked, but we'll never stop, 'cause CoCoTALK is rocking the 8-bit world.
Consider supporting the show with a purchase of merchandise from our retro swag shop at 8bit256.com. If you'd like to become a patron of the show, click the Patreon link at our website at cocotalk.live.
CoCoTALK is rocking the 8-bit world, keeping the Tandy flame alive. We may be mocked, but we'll never stop, 'cause CoCoTALK is rocking the 8-bit world.
CoCoTALK would not exist without the community, its cast, crew, and contributors. Thanks go to Curtis Boyle, David Ladd, Mark Overholzer, Grant Leedy, Bruce Moore, Nick Marentes, Ron Delvaux, Rick Adams, Jason Reicher, Richard Lorbieski, Jim Brain, Tom C., Rob Inman, Mark Bosley, Brian Joyce, Ken Reicher, David O'Connor, Brian Weasler, Terry Steggy, Nick Marotta, John Strong, and many more, especially to Steve Bjork for production suggestions and James Differendaffer for making my head explode. Please help support the CoCo community by visiting some of its various contributors. A list of resources is available at imacoconut.com. That's imacoconut.com. The CoCoTALK theme song is copyright 2008 by D. Bruce Moore and Greg Sheeler. Mixed, mastered, and produced by D. Bruce Moore.
All right. Good times, good times. VDG.
Oh, yes, baby.
TTL.
Drive wire.
It's looking
No,
like
it's that trolling video was
was pretty much an indication of the kind of friendship we have. We just constantly
I think I was sitting across the table for that one.
So David has added Grease
you
Weasel.
liked it, Stevie.
Oh, I loved it. Yeah. David added Grease Weasel to the Chet Simpson poll of things that people want. And so far, he's the only person who's voted for that, right?
Oops, I'll have to fix that.
Yeah. So what type of following game-related products? How is the Grease Weasel a game-related product when it's a floppy-related product?
Technically, Steve, if you want to get into it, if you wanted to mass produce the game on floppy, you would need that tool.
Alrighty then.
Would be the best
So
way.
then, in that particular case, it would be a game-related tool because you're producing the game on floppy.
Also,
Oh,
if you're back
Lord,
to your original
David.
game floppy
Good
disks,
gravy.
you want it for archiving.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm just gonna go stab myself in both eyes when I'm done with the show because that's.
We should really introduce the David Ladd creepy meter.
Okay. Parting thoughts. Ron Delvaux. Will you be joining us tonight when we talk to the Amigos Retro Gaming guys at 6
I don't
o'clock?
know. Maybe it depends on how my wife feels.
Okay. All right.
You're gonna what? You're gonna what? Nothing. I'm not doing nothing.
Mark D. Overholzer.
Hey, thank you. Glad to be here. Thank you very much.
All right. Curtis, we hope you feel better. Hopefully you'll be able to make it through our second show tonight with your voice and everything.
Yeah, I'll probably grab a power nap here and see if I can sleep some of this off here.
Okay.
But, yeah, I'm looking forward to the interview. That's gonna be fun.
Excellent. Brian, the Music Man Schubring, thank you for being here. Any parting thoughts?
Nightmare Highway.
No better words have ever been. Al Hartman says, I'm uncomfortable talking about David's tools. Okay. Rick Adams, any parting thoughts from you?
I have no wisdom to impart. I'm sorry.
All right. Jason the Coco
Thank you.
Man
You're too
Reichert.
kind. Yeah.
Yes, so are you. Thank you. Jason Reichert, parting thoughts. All right. If you paid $5, you paid too much. Brian Weasler, parting thoughts.
What are we down to? 100 days to Coco Fest?
Oh, yeah. That reminds me, I got to book my room. Thanks for reminding me. Nick Marotta, parting thoughts.
Yes, just please join us at 6 o'clock for the interview with Amigo Retro guys. They're really cool guys.
Lancer or buzzard bait?
Buzzard bait. Love buzzard bait.
You're still wrong.
Better than an answer.
Still wrong.
Team Buzzard Bait.
Paul Thayer, the Slayer, any parting thoughts from you, sir?
Yeah. Has anybody beaten the House of Foo on Digger 3 yet?
Which level is that? What number?
15.
I
Oh,
pity
wait,
the
that's
Foo.
hexadecimal 15, so I don't know.
Okay.
23.
Is that the one I got stuck on?
I don't know, man, but it's ridiculous.
Ben Drake says also Team Buzzard Bait. Mark Bosley, parting thoughts.
All right, Ben.
Hey, when's Glenside going to have the ticket booth open?
Check Tandy list and see. Maybe we'll hear an update soon. David Ladd, any parting thoughts from you? I'm afraid to ask.
Yes, everyone, be great to each other. Do a group hug once in a while.
Oh, God.
And Grant, be nice. We are supposed to be uplifting the community. Everybody be happy.
Supposed to be.
See
That's
you
why
later.
I brought that. That's why I bought that hydraulic jack.
That's right. John Lowry, parting thoughts.
See you at 6.
All right. Nick
Hey,
Marentes.
Has my mother won that Coco yet?
No. Oh, speaking of that, so I plugged the Coco in, and it boots up to random text. I'm not getting to a basic prompt, so it is now over my head on the hardware side. So I was going to reach out to Richard and see if I can just send it to him. So the Coco 2, we're still going to give it away, but I wanted to plug it in to do the RAM test to make sure it could play Sailor Man, and it didn't boot into the basic prompt. So something could be a simple reseeding of something. So maybe I'll, we'll get if we.
My
can't...
mother's good at working that stuff. So just let me know.
All right, Nick Marentes, any parting thoughts?
Except that I got the rest of the weekend to try and get David Ladd out of my head.
Yes. It's like
don't worry, Nick.
You're making it worse.
You're making it worse. Nick Marentes, you going to join us for the Amigo Retro guys tonight?
I'll try to, yeah.
Okay, same channel here on Zoom and on YouTube.
Don't worry, Nick. I'll be there.
All right. Crikeys. Okay.
There's some incentive.
And the final word comes from Grant Leety himself.
Have a good night, guys. We'll see you later tonight at 6 o'clock, and I promise to not do a live stream.
All right. Well, we are going to press the button. Let's real quickly say thank you to the people in our live audience as well. We were joined by Mark Overholzer and Retro Innovations, and Al Hartman and Matchy Games, and Ben Drakes and Dave Phillipson and Tim Franklin and Dave and Sharon Very were out there. And who else was out there? Salam Abraham and who else? Dave and Sharon and Sharon and Matchy and Sharon and Dave and Matchy and Dave and Sharon and Coco Man. And the Freak Show says, the Freak Show Telephone Company says, I love my Coco 2 with my Coco SDC. Pete Willard was out there saying Coco VGA is real nice. And Ben Drakes, Mark Overholzer, Matchy Games, Pete Willard, Matchy. Nimble was out there. Retro Innovations, Dave and Sharon and Pete Willard. And Qui-Gon was out there. Jason Downs was out there. Grant Leedy, James Jones, Al Hartman, Grant Leedy, Dave and Sharon, Matchy, Retro Innovations, Mark Overholzer, Ben Drakes, Strick Yak says howdy. And I believe we've got everybody out there now. So thank you guys who watched us today. Thank you guys for being on the panel. We will see you all in a couple of hours with our follow-up show. Until then, take care. Coco forever, everybody. Bye. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Out.
Everybody.